What is up, and welcome into the Easy Smoke and the GM podcast. I'm your host, Ezra McCann, and I'm joined, as always, by my outstanding co-hosts. He's a Chicago Public League legend. He's a Simeon legend. He's a Grambling State legend. He played second base for the Tigers back in the day. He was all SWAC, and now he's the head coach at Simeon, his alma mater. It is Brandon Williams, a.k.a. Coach Smoke. And, of course, we've got our NFL draft guru, analyst, everything out there. You can catch all his work for now at NBCSportsChicago.com. For now, that's going to be ending pretty soon, but that's all right, though. He's our guy. He is our GM, Glenn Morgan. Gentlemen, it's been a while. Glad to be back. We are here, and it's been too long, but
Yeah,
good to see you guys, man.
good to
For
be
the
back.
moment. As per usual, man, you always forget some of them titles. You're newly minute commissioner of an NCAA college football league. I mean, come on, man. You
That's right. That's right.
get some titles out there, man. It's like Game of Thrones. You got to list all them titles.
Yeah.
Man.
I,
Hey,
I,
hey, and you could say, I mean, unlike the big club, but World Series, RBI World Series champ, for the Chicago White Sox. You could mention that too.
I think you guys could actually put on a good showing against the major league roster, in my opinion. There's no
Hey
doubt about
man,
it.
look, ain't no telling.
There's man, the major league roster on the South Side is, they're they don't look too good. They don't look too good,
Nobody hit over 250.
and
Everybody's
and
250 under.
and it's gonna be a while before they bring it back. I think because I don't see how they're gonna be able to change that up anytime soon here.
We just gotta keep bringing up them young guys and just try to develop them and see what happens.
Because this team on a historic run. Hey, they've won 31 games this season. I
We're
didn't think it was that many.
130 in.
And they are a whopping 43 games back. So yeah, you never know. You
You
win the rest
never
of your
know.
games here, and
They're already mathematically eliminated.
yeah,
Next year, you mean? They're mathematically going into next year.
it's
They're
bad.
already
It's
15
bad.
games under going into.
All right, so let's just get away from that team. I don't want to talk too much about that team. I guess the excitement right now, obviously, is the team on the lakefront, the Chicago Bears, back at it. They've gone through training camp. As we talk right now, they play tomorrow night in Kansas City, their last preseason game, and we've been lucky enough to actually, I guess, watch this team through the eyes of the cameras at Hard Knocks. And yeah, it's been a pretty eventful late July and August here for the Bears. What's you guys excitement level right now as we head into the final preseason game and going into the regular season here?
Say this. Preseason games suck. I mean, they've never been great, but I used to get excited for the preseason. Nobody hardly ever really plays. It's like not even like watching replay games or worth anything for the most part, because even sometimes the rookies aren't playing. The rookies that need to play, the stars that you want to see come out of college, they're holding some of these guys out, or they're playing sparingly at best. It's just a whole bunch of guys that are going to be the backup guys who won't be starting guys, or a whole bunch of offensive linemen, defensive linemen, not so much the edge rushers, but the interior guys who you don't really follow per se. And it's just it's like, why are we even messing with our excitement level? It's like, to me, it's like you get pumped when you finally see football, but no, not really. I got to hold it back a little bit, because not only do these games not matter, I can't even really see the guys I want to see. Like, what are we doing here? Or again, you see them sparingly. So I think if it wasn't for Hard Knocks, I'd be less excited about the Bears right now. Not saying that what we've seen hasn't been good, but having you want more at this point because there's been such a dearth of football coverage in Chicago landscape. The teams have been so bad. It's like you just want to see a good product in actual play. And you see it here and there, but with Hard Knocks, you get some more behind the scenes stuff. You get a little more understanding of what how Poles and his close group of guys that he worked with, Ian Cunningham and so forth, how these guys are thinking and processing. You get to hear the athletes talk a little bit more, not so much about the TV shows they're watching, but you get to hear about how they see things. You get to see some of these relationships foster and build. You can see some plays that we don't necessarily get to see in terms of at camp itself. So you're seeing some more dynamism that we wouldn't see, and that you're not going to see on the football field. So that part of it has me feeling positive going forward. But as far as the season, it's not there just yet because of preseason as a whole. It's just kind of been okay.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of just like I want to be excited. I want to be excited, but it's like, man, I just gotta wait to see. I just gotta wait to see it. Then you look at the preseason games, like Jim said, like no one's really playing. You know, the game we just watched, defense looking amazing, but then when you sit back and think about it, no Burrow, no Chase, no Higgins, like is Kyler Gordon really going to look this amazing? You get what I'm saying? It's those type of things that it's like, this is just so. It's weird.
He did ball out in that game.
Though. He did. He balled out. He balled out, and then it's just like though it's the media coverage of the team. Everyone is so positive of the Bears. It seemed like we're in a twilight zone right now. It's like, okay, this is like, dog, will we have a competitive edge? Like, everyone is on the Bears. Everyone loves Caleb. Watching the game, the commentary was so Caleb favored. It was like, I mean, even in his mistakes, it was like, oh, but look at this and look, it's like, whoa, this is weird. It's weird. I'm not used to it, you know, and it's like, okay, maybe I just got to get used to the Bears being on that other side of the NFL world where they're the love team, where they're the beloved. Like, I'm not used to that when it comes to the Chicago Bears. And so everything right now is just so weird to me. Even watching Hard Knocks, it's like so fucking nice. It's like, where's the fucking drama? Like I thought that's what Hard Knocks brought. This is my first time ever watching Hard Knocks. I've heard so much about Hard Knocks and the other teams and the drama that comes with it. There's not even any headline. I'm used to Hard Knocks, at least hearing about Hard Knocks on the first takes, the get ups. They ain't even talking about this shit on those shows. Like it's so nice. It's everything's so kind. What Hard Knocks is doing for me is making me truly wish they would have did that shit last year, the in season with the team we had last year. Cause I can bet that shit would have been so entertaining because it would have been so dramaful.
No, I think they would have whitewashed. They would have whitewashed it again.
See, that's and that's it's man. I don't know, but all in all, I'm going into this positively. I'm not getting too high up off what I'm seeing in the preseason from the offense. I'm just ready for week 1 to see how we all put it together. I think the infrastructure is in place to be successful. It's about seeing it come to on the field. So I am excited to see finally in a real game what the Chicago Bears will look like. You know, I am excited about that because they have built this team up to where like, man, like anything less than shit. Some people saying Super Bowl on national TV. It's insane. But like anything less than a playoff appearance is like a massive failure this season. And it's like I don't want to get my hopes up too high, but it's hard to not recognize the truths behind it. Like, so we'll see.
You remember you guys got on me before we went on our little hiatus about my 12-5 prediction.
This shit's up there crazy.
I'm still not
I
there.
don't think I don't think it's that crazy, man. I really don't. Let's get into Hard Knocks though. Smoke, you said that that you were expecting a little something different. And I think we all were. Um there's always, and I think, you know what, but I think the focus of the show has sort of changed in the last couple of years. You don't get the full drama that they used to have. They would always have, like, the last four guys on the roster, who's gonna make the cut. They don't really do that anymore.
We're not there yet,
Um,
too.
what's that?
We're not there yet. I mean, Bayless may be
Well,
because
no, they
they
would start it. You would get to know by, and I think do we have an extra show this year, or is it just maybe it's just four. But usually by this point you're figuring out, okay, these are the last guys on the roster,
Wait,
and you
Hard
figure
Knocks
out
is
who
only
you.
4 episodes?
It may be five this. I think it's gonna be five this year because I think they're gonna have.
six, though, 'cause they gotta be. Well, no, because you only got like 2 weeks left, right?
Right. This is the final, and then final cuts is next week.
So
Oh
five, yeah.
wow.
So it
Yeah,
might be five, maybe it's five, but usually it's only 4 episodes.
but don't
Really?
forget the NFL has pushed back how long you can have players a little bit longer than you used to. They pushed that back a little bit, so you may not get that drama like you talk about in terms of who's on the cutting block because they haven't really had any
But
cuts
they haven't
yet.
showed. Yeah, they aren't showing any of the roster. But I think the only one they really showed was it the running back situation with Velus Jones and 33 Wheeler. That's pretty much it when it comes to actual position battles. Um, so I found that interesting. That takes away from it, and it's just been this bad. This lovey-dovey kid-friendly show. There's been no cursing in the show. It's just it's just
A lot of
it's
kids in
just
the show.
it's just
Got to
weird.
Went to the candy shop.
Yeah, which you usually always get that. But we haven't seen the characters of this team.
Uh, you don't have a lot of. I mean, Caleb is probably the most effusive personality. Uh, I mean, hell, Bajan's dad stole a little bit of shine because he just has
He,
that kind of personality.
man, that was
Yeah,
probably the most
that was the most. Yeah,
personality we got. And
yeah.
that's the thing, like you say with Caleb, like coming in, we thought he was a major personality. He's looking like reserved
Yeah.
and kind of like I'm gonna be cautious of what I'm doing on camera type thing. Like it's just weak. It's just like
Yeah,
come on.
if I weren't a
I'm
Bears fan, I don't think
yeah.
I would enjoy this all that much. I'm enjoying it and I'm watching as soon as it comes on now because it's the Bears and I want to see what's going on. Um
Should take more advantage of the city, man, and have these guys going out more. Especially since the training camp is not in Bourbonnais or for Wisconsin. It's help for Hallis Hall. Like they say, these guys, something out on the town, like Navy Pier, something. I mean, not saying it has to be like late night kind of stuff, just something where you see part of use the city to help tell your story a little bit more. They do it
yeah,
in the
you
open,
usually get, and mind you, we did get that with DJ Moore and his family.
but they went to museum. They didn't really go nowhere.
But
I'm talking
I
about.
will tell you, I didn't know that Chicago had a museum of ice cream.
I did.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
Y'all been there?
I haven't been,
I
but
did.
I knew that.
I had no clue.
Yeah.
I didn't know Chicago was known for ice cream. But all right, I'm with it. I'm with
I will
it.
say this. like you mentioned, the seeing like Poles do his job, behind the scenes, that has been, enjoyable to watch. The Judon thing and how his his thought process and why he didn't push for it stronger than he did. I kind of understand that. Like if I'm gonna give up draft capital, I want you to
I
be here
didn't
for more than just 1 year.
I didn't
I
buy
mean,
I didn't buy that. You
you
know
ain't.
why? He 32, right?
He mentioned that though.
I'm
He
saying, do
said, I
you
know he's on the older side, but
yeah, I mean, do you really want to sign a long-term deal with a 32-year-old defensive lineman?
I don't think the Falcons do either, so they ain't nothing to sign.
That's what I'm saying.
well,
Nothing's been
they not
signed.
signing though.
They're not going
Think they
to
gonna allow him just that
to
one
go to
year.
yeah, and he's gonna go to free agency.
Maybe
So
Poles though he can give him for the cheap on a longer term deal, maybe.
man, that makes sense.
You
That
know,
makes more sense.
3 years, 30 mil or some shit.
Yeah.
But
I
good,
mean,
and good on polls. But yeah, they'll tell me, yeah, he didn't want to sign a long-term deal, so we just let that go. No, that's not that. I don't buy that, Ryan. I ain't buying all of that. I find it interesting. Did you saw the first episode with Nick Saban was on there, and he talked about um coaching the quarterbacks and how he would position himself, behind the quarterbacks to see what they're seeing and then talk to them and just get a feel for what they see and what's going on. I find it very interesting that a defensive coach that Eberflus is, he's been all over the quarterback position this entire camp. Now, maybe it's for the cameras. I don't know, but
That was another thing that made me wonder.
I
Like,
I spent some time at Bears training camps in the past. I spent significant time at a Dick Duran camp in 2000, Urlacher's rookie year. I went to a few Lovie Smith camps where I spent significant time there. I don't ever remember, and they were all these are defensive coaches. I don't ever
mhm.
remember them with the offense or even talking to the quarterbacks at any point during a practice. Now, mind and I wasn't there, the entire season. I'm talking just during the training camps where we were there. We could see, all the practices at that time. I think the media still can now. We just can't record it now like we used to. But I find it interesting that you see uh, Eberflus coaching up the quarterbacks as he was with Bajan too. You saw in the last episode, but coaching them up as a defensive coach, and then all the meetings that he's had with Caleb Williams. Man, mind you, like I said, we haven't always been there. I find that very interesting that that now he's it looks like he's invested in this.
well, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, you've got the number one pick overall. You've hopefully learned some lessons from the previous young quarterback you had, and that maybe you didn't do enough of it to keep it from getting to where it got. You want to keep your job, and part of keeping your job is learning from your mistakes, so don't repeat the same one. You bring in your mentor who says, "Look, motherfucker," and you just stand behind them. You take control of stuff. If you're the head coach, you're the CEO. You're responsible for everything. You're gonna be responsible. Be responsible.
No, and I'm
And
wait,
so
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying I find it interesting.
I'm just saying, right. I'm not knocking
I'm
you. I'm
not
saying in
knocking it.
terms of
Yeah, yeah.
question of whether or not it's for the cameras or not. I'm thinking like, no, I think this is self-preservation. I think this is. I think this. I learn from like how can I learn? How can I do better with a young quarterback who needs to be developed because we didn't do enough with the previous guy we had, and I've had to change offensive coordinator. So, and although my job is secure this year, I want to continue coaching. How can I be better at coaching? I think Bruce is one of those guys that always wants to be better at being a coach. I think regardless of the new face and the new look and all that stuff, I think he's still a little uncomfortable. I think he's comfortable with it, but he's not like that's not like he's trying to project that. I still think deep down he is that same guy that we saw who's making those tackles at Toledo. where he's that linebacker. He's a football guy deep down inside, and bringing Coach Saban, I think, epitomizes that because he's bringing his mentor, the guy he played for and learned under, to say, "Hey, coach me still some more," and not that, but being vulnerable enough, so to speak, or ego less to have that show, on Hard Knocks itself. And granted, it's Saban, so it's not like it's some dude. I mean, it's Nick Saban, but you don't have to do all that. Some guys have an ego where like I don't want anyone to see that I have to ask. You know what I mean? And for that to be there for posterity, because it makes it seem like I don't know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since I just lost a quarterback for, we've had to change out quarterbacks because the previous guy wasn't developed, so on and so forth. So no, I think very much so. It makes a lot of sense. And Bajan is a very young quarterback. He's still extremely developed. You got a guy who's coming from what, Division 7,
By the
so
way,
Shepherd High School
I was I
land. So
was I was out with Glenn on Saturday, and we ran into some University of Chicago football players. Oh man, Glenn was rough on them. Said you guys have a football team? I was like, wow.
I didn't know they had football. I thought they got outlawed back in the 1940s, man.
Wow.
I thought they dismissed
Man.
it back.
That's the 40s.
They were an
Man.
academic.
They've been back a while, Glenn. They do play football on the Hyde Park campus. They're just Division 3. That's all. They play some pretty good football over there. I just wanted to let you know. But man, just hurt those guys' feelings.
They were
They were
anyway.
the kickers, but still.
Yeah, I
They were
got
the
40.
kickers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
especially
were.
the two teams.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry,
But
I digress. Sorry, I just
Oh
had to throw
man,
that out there.
that's hilarious.
Since you making fun of Bajent.
it's Shepherd, right? Shepherd High School. That's where they got them from. I know it's Shepherd College, but yeah. So you still got really young quarterbacks. I mean, Brett Rippon's probably the oldest quarterback on the roster, and he's like what, maybe a fifth year guy.
I think it's his
So
sixth season.
60. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and who's never really been a starter. So you've got basically two rookies, second year guy, and the guy who's been a journeyman. So you might want to get behind the quarterback and see what the hell he's doing, so you can make sure that guy has to keep your job. So, but yeah, no, even like you say, even bringing that up shows you just a little more behind what this regime seems to be doing. And I'll say this: what I've taken away from Hard Knocks has been less about the players. I've been more impressed with the coaching staff. I think the coaching staff, Eric Washington, has impressed me, especially the last episode or so, how much he is in Booker's ear, Austin Booker's ear, and pumping him up and letting him know. And then Booker taking that, and you've seen it, you've seen the coaching he's taking and the advice he's taking and the positive, supportive encouragement he's gotten and applying that on the field. Going out there, hey, one sack's not good enough. He goes back out there and gets, another sack and a half or 2 sacks and a half, 2.5 sacks, whatever the case might be. So that's awesome to see. Seeing the quarterback coach also talking to Caleb right before the game. Hey, you're nervous, blah blah blah. Just that casual conversation. So you're staying engaged, and it seems like this is a coaching staff that's engaged with the players at various levels throughout the team. And I don't know if we felt that type of engagement as much with Getsy. Obviously, the previous, defensive coordinator was his focus was elsewhere, as was the other running backs coach. So seeing how these guys engage, seeing the one running back coach get after Wheeler and be on Bayless. It's like, hey, Wheeler, not good enough. Be on him. So Wheeler's like, yeah, he's kind of on me, but I'm glad I'm getting it. And even the female running back, I apologize, I don't know her name, but how she's like, hey, keep that ball tucked. It's just like, I'm not saying that doesn't happen, in every training camp probably throughout the NFL, but it's good to see that, and it's good to see that these guys are taking that coaching and they're applying and they're playing. And yeah, the defense has been playing against, maybe a couple of number ones, definitely the number twos with the Bengals, but it's better than them looking bad against so the defense is looking very much like we are ready for the season to begin yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And Booker is making me feel a little bit better about the other edge. But there's still a depth issue, I think, on the interior of both lines, offensive and defensive line.
I would have to think they're going to at least they're going to bring someone in after cuts on the D line.
Right. Sure. Okay. And that's nice.
If
We'll
not,
see it.
why go after they went after Judon for a reason. They're not gonna. I don't think they're just gonna stand pat here.
They're gonna
I
bring back
understand that, and
Ngakwe.
I
Yeah.
I agree with you. The question is, who do they get, and what kind of talent level, and are you getting someone who's going to? Because again, you have to be careful that you don't want someone to take away reps and time from a developing player like Booker and some of the other guys
I
who are in
think
the
they're gonna
second
bring
year.
back Ngakwe.
Maybe, maybe not. Um, but even that, who they bring in, how talented is it? Someone to bring in to, yes, more of a starter or someone to be more of a backup? I mean, that hasn't been, established yet. I'm not sure if they necessarily know themselves. It all depends, like you said, as who's available once cuts start happening. Um, and again, I still feel very concerned about the offensive line in terms of depth. Um, and I feel better about the receiving room especially if they keep Colin Johnson.
Mhm.
I really like the size he offers because we have some diminutive players to some degree, but he would be he and Rome would be the biggest and tallest receivers. He's a young guy. He's shown some upside. He's shown like he basically seems like that guy. Back in the day, you should say it takes a receiver about 3 years to become dangerous, so to speak, or that person who you can become a dependable receiver. Especially in fantasy football, you always target a
Mhm.
receiver third year to get those numbers. I think Colin is in his third or fourth year, no more than
Oh,
fourth year.
that's the secret. I didn't know that.
And it used to be. It doesn't apply anymore. Guy like Justin Jefferson, Odell Beckham,
Mhm.
Mark Chase, they blew it out. Hell, even Randy Moss blew it out the water. So it's just more of those guys are coming in playing. But that used to be the thing back in the 90s and early 2000s. But anyway, the receiving room, I feel a little better because as much as I like Keenan Allen, I hope he stays healthy and I hope he enjoys his time here in Chicago. It'd be nice if he were to resign. All that being said, those things may not happen. His health may not hold out. He may not want to stay in Chicago. He may want to go back to the West Coast. The Bears may be able to afford him, blah, blah, blah. I have someone like Johnson here to learn from guys like him and DJ so they can be ready if Keenan isn't here, and someone like Rome can play inside out. Someone like Collins seems to be more of an X or a Z guy to me for the most part, but um, it's just good to have that depth. Because Tyler, I like his speed. I'm pulling for him, but he's still yet to show me dependability yet and to be effective enough. And Bayless, I don't trust him, running routes and catching the
I
pass.
think I
Hey,
think Valus is the odd man out.
hey,
I think he's gone.
it's so funny with Tyler Scott because I'm like, everybody talk about the pass with a pass interference, and all I could think about is I wish he didn't because I wanted to see if he was going to truly catch this ball. I wish he didn't pull him because that's something we talked about a lot last year with
Well,
him. Like,
He
so I
was
was like,
he wasn't gonna catch that ball.
that's what
He
I'm
was so
saying.
happy.
That
He was so
DB probably
happy.
saved his life, and because Caleb is beloved. It was an amazing play.
No,
Uh
that was a good ball.
no, it was a great ball.
It was a
I'm
good
not saying that.
ball.
It was a great ball.
Yeah.
It just you just can tell the difference in commentary. That's all I'm saying. Uh One thing that I did enjoy that on Hard Knocks, especially the last episode, was Eberflus talking to the team going into the joint practice to see him enforce his control of the team, and I like that. And that's probably the coaching me, because those are grown men. These ain't high school kids. These ain't college kids. Like, these are grown men. And, it told them number one rule: no fighting. Like, you fight, you be back here, run. Like, I'm like, okay, that's how.
What's the
I like that.
what's the right way to handle those things?
As
Uh,
far
as
as
far as having fighting in practices. All right. I've heard both ways. Coaches get excited when, you know, they see
Okay,
guys,
so
mix it
it,
up.
it,
You see, if you remember back to the Hard Knocks, the first time the Jets were on there with Rex Ryan, and I think it may have been the defensive end from Ohio State, Golston. That ring a bell?
Oh yeah, Ghost. Yeah.
Vernon Golston, yeah. And they were worried about his toughness. And so he had a guy actually go and pick a fight with him just to see if he would if he would scrap.
It was an
Or
internal. It wasn't an external thing, right?
there wasn't an
That was
external, right? That is true. But then you see I think Detroit was mixing it up with were they
the
practicing with the
Giants, I believe
Giants?
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Giants.
And you saw some smiling faces from some coaches over there. Tomlin, now this was another internal battle, but the Steelers got into some fisticuffs, and they panned toward Tomlin, and he held his whistle, and he sort of smiled because
Man,
he liked to see the mix up, and then once it got a little over the top,
that's where you
then he
step
blew the
in.
whistle, he
Yeah.
stepped in. Yeah. So
S-
what's the balance with that?
So so sometimes, and I've experienced my share as a coach. Sometimes when you feel like you're not getting what you need out of your team, or no energy, lack of effort, sometimes you need that. You need something to change the dynamic of what's taking place right now. And you want somebody to step up, be a leader, call somebody out. And if it gets to the point where they gotta mix it up, like you say with Tomlin, you check it out to see, okay, if it get too far, okay, now I'm gonna step in. And then but the key is, how do they respond after that though?
Right.
That's always the important piece. Because if they go back to what caused that in the first place, nothing was accomplished. So I can sit here and say I've had a moment where I've had a couple guys, they got the tussling. Coaches want to run over there and break it up. No, let them go. They ain't show no fight in this game. Show me you willing to fight. Go ahead. And then okay, well, let's get in here at that point. And then the next game, we dominated. So it was like, okay, maybe that helped, but sometimes you could tell when it can lead to something positive. And as a coach, you should be able to tell when, okay, this is some BS. No, this is not about to happen right now. Get it, whatever punishment you need to put in place. Like, as a coach, you should be able to gauge that. You can tell when it's coming from a true competitive nature, and then you can tell when it's just coming from a place of bullshit.
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
So, and so that's the key. You, as a coach, you just gotta know. Like, you just gotta know. Sometimes it's worth it.
Yeah, I've never actually been involved in a on field practice scrap. I've had, obviously pushing and shoving, but
Mm-hmm.
then it ends and that's it. I've never been involved in the brawl, so I just found that interesting. Um, but yeah, it was good. It was good that like you said, the Bears took care of business. They played physical during the practice against the Bengals, got their work in, and that was it. Um, and yeah, I guess they played pretty well against Burrow and those guys um, against Cincinnati
Right. Mm-hmm.
from all reports. So so
Man,
that's a
last
good
time
thing.
Burrow saw us, we picked his ass off like 3 times. So.
Exactly. Won the Super Bowl, but hey,
That is true. That is true.
That was what, one of our 2 wins we had that year, or three.
3 wins, three.
That was one of our 3 wins that season.
Yeah.
no. We had more wins this season.
That
That
was
was Justin's first.
Justin's rookie year, right?
Yeah,
We had the number
they
one
did.
pick after that season, didn't we? That wasn't the year we
No,
had the
no,
number
no.
one
The number
pick.
one pick was last year. That was the second season.
Never had number
Okay,
one pick.
Well, they got the number. Remember, they got the number one pick from Carolina.
Right, right. We never had
this year we
Tennessee
got
number
the
Or
one.
number
no,
one
no.
pick.
Wait, wait. How did they
We
get the number
traded the
one?
number one pick
Right,
after the second season. You're
right,
right. You're right.
right,
It was his rookie season that we beat
right,
Burrow.
right. Or we got it from.
No,
We got
we
it because
we earned it.
We earned
yeah,
that one.
he
That's right. That's right. We earned that one
traded it with
because
Carolina.
The Lovey game.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Lovey
Thank you,
game.
thank you,
Yeah,
Love.
That's right.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
I think that was four. Was it 4 wins? Or was that
It might
three?
have
No, I
been
think it was
4.
three. I think it was three.
Yeah, it was 3.
3 wins. Yeah.
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 We went 3-4.
Yeah. I think it was definitely
Three to four.
definitely
It was
three.
like-
So let's hold off. Let's do our predictions next week. On the season. Let's see who makes the roster. Coming up. We talk about the receiver room. Who do you think is gonna be the odd man? Or who's gonna make it? That's probably easier.
You know,
Obviously,
Pettis is starting to look. He's put a strong fight. Pettis put up a strong fight because he still has a return factor that helps him potentially a little bit. He's a better route runner than Valus. Valus is trying to find a position as a runner and keeping him and he and Wheeler's going. And Wheeler looks like a way better running back in terms of
yeah.
where to go. And he's got speed too. It's not like he's a slow guy. And he ran back punts and kickoffs in college too.
Yeah, they gotta go ahead.
But I would say earlier, obviously, it's DJ, Keenan, Rome. I think Colin Johnson's got a spot.
Tyler Scott got his spot too.
Tyler Spots. Yeah, Scott's gonna be there.
And now it becomes, do they keep 6 or 7? If they keep 7, I think Pettis makes it. If they keep 6, I don't know. Pettis might still make it at 6. I don't know. I don't know who some of the other cats are. To be quite honest, I know there are a few of the decent guys out there running around, but again, this is where I don't care about the preseason because it's like it just doesn't matter. It's just like there's a whole bunch of cats just aren't going to be there. I'm rooting for them to make whatever NFL team they can, and I don't mean to sound dismissive of them and how hard they're fighting to make a roster because getting a job and keeping one these days difficult. Um, but yeah, it's tough because you're gonna keep they're probably gonna keep 3 tight ends, I'd imagine too, maybe even 4. If they keep 4 tight ends, that's definitely gonna be a receiver not making it. I know Waldron likes using tight ends, so 3 I think is
Well,
definitely a given.
Komet and Everett are gonna make it, and I would assume why would they bring in Mercedes Lewis again for just a training camp? That's not he's I'm
Right.
sure he's gonna make it.
Right. And so I'm gonna say if they keep a 4th one so they have more of like a backup move tight end or whatever. If Komet and Mercedes are more your blocking tight ends, so to speak, and Everett and a more athletic hybrid type kind of tight end, which would be a big receiver type dude. Maybe you have that as a back because Everett has had some injury, nicks here and there throughout his career. Then that takes away from another wide receiver. Not only that, but with the double tight ends or having an extra tight end, you got a better blocking downfield, uh, better blocking, especially on the offensive line that might have some issues with help. You might want an additional tight end to kind of help, blocking so you can get some 12 personnel out there. So I don't know, man. That's going to be that's probably going to be the more difficult thing to figure out how many wide receivers and who you're keeping and or if you're keeping an additional tight end, and if so, that taking away from a receiver. I think the defensive backfield super competitive, man. There gonna be some good defensive backs that won't make the team. Um, I don't know how many they're going to keep on the practice squad, and I don't know how many teams might pilfer our practice squad because we got some pretty good talent in secondary. I'd
Yeah.
say that. I think the linebacker room is pretty much set. I think I forget how to pronounce 45 name. The guy who had the pick 6. He's been looking pretty good in the preseason games and stuff. Obviously, Sanborn and Evans and the premier linebackers. So yeah, and I think that in terms of interior, Dexter Billings, Pickens, um, guy who's a hybrid outside inside guy. What's his name? They're gonna move him from the inside on passing down. Walker.
Walker,
Uh,
yeah, DeMarcus Walker.
Walker obviously is a keeper, and obviously Montez. So I don't know how many. He maybe what one, maybe two more defensive linemen, maybe. Um, so yeah, the punter, he's golden. So really,
Yeah,
man,
he's.
the quarterbacks would be interesting. I think Reed is a practice squad guy.
I think they could. Yeah, they keep all four quarterbacks.
Yeah, yeah, I think they do that. Rippon should be the. I think Rippon should be the backup, not necessarily Bagent, but
Mm,
Bagent's nice dude. But dude, his arm, as much as he says he's working out, that ball comes out nice. But I just know there's not that NFL velocity behind it.
I don't know, man. I was looking at that. Mind you, those are those Hard Knocks cameras, the NFL Films cameras. But man, that spiral was looking real good. Uh,
He throws a nice pass. It's accurate. He does to me. He doesn't have that NFL velocity. Like his balls to me are catchable by both the offense and the defense. You know, let's not forget he threw twice as many picks as he did touchdowns last season too. So
he
you
did,
know,
but he
I
won. But he won 2 games though.
no, the bad teams he played, bro.
Historically bad, but we're not saying that.
Oh, the Raiders team that was transition with the head coach, he probably got that guy fired, and
Carolina.
Carolina was yeah. So
Historically bad. Yeah.
full range back. But I like Rippon to me is more. There's a little more assertiveness in his passing to me. But again, it's against backups. It was very vanilla. So let's see. But I
Uh
like experience too. As a 6 year vet, I wouldn't mind having that behind my quarterback. But I guess you can keep two. You don't dress one. Is that what the deal is? Something like that. You can keep another one, but you don't dress them.
right.
Or maybe something like
Right.
that.
So they give you like an extra spot to keep that third quarterback so that you're not trying to, which is a good thing. The kickoff rule, you guys finally got to see that. You guys don't watch the XFL like I do, or excuse me, the USF. Or no, wait. It's the UFL now because the XFL and the USFL merged. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about that?
It's gonna look weird until it starts to look nice.
Yeah, agree.
It's funny because they don't do that in college. Everyone just go for it. High school, go for it. For the pros, hey, slow it up a little bit. We might hurt ourselves. Like,
It's all about saving that money. They got to do something to say that, hey, we're all about safety.
yeah, but college is like they're younger, aren't their brains more? They don't have the same kind of insurance and make the same kind of money. Um, but yeah, I think it'll. I think when someone scores a touchdown, it's going to be impressive off a kickoff because it seems like it's harder to do it this way.
Yeah,
Like guys don't get as much, runway. The returners as much runway to kind of really figure out where they're.
You get it open and might as well throw up the peace sign because
well,
behind you at that
it's
point.
it's
It's
harder
hard to
because it's going to be harder for guys. Um, it's going to be harder
get lane.
get
Find a
outside
hole.
of your lane. You're so close now. You're pretty much
Mm-hmm.
obligated to stay in your lane at that point. So there's not going to be too many openings there. But if you do get past that first wave, you gone.
It's over with.
Yeah, yeah. So it's interesting. So it's going to be interesting once we actually see teams scheme for it and do some unique plays with it. I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a good thing.
And
Good
the
thing
kick
for the league.
has to go a certain distance, correct?
Yeah, it has to go into the kick zones. I think it's between the 15 and the goal line. It has to land in that area. Um, and obviously if it lands into the end zone, it's a touchback. And if it's before that area,
Love it.
right, right.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, run it to catch it or till it's the ground.
Right. And you can't well they can't the kickoff team can't leave until the ball is caught or until it touches so if they muff it they can go. So yeah, it should be interesting. Should be very interesting.
I see them going back to the regular kickoff after this season.
You think so?
Yeah.
That was less returns then. I mean, way less returns.
Yeah. That's what's out. They're trying to create more plays is what they're trying to do.
We'll see. Like Jim said, it's weird until it isn't. We'll see. No one is human nature. We don't adapt to change right away.
So you one thing I'm excited about, or that I've seen this preseason that made me somewhat excited about the upcoming season, and it wasn't a Bears related situation. I am intrigued, and I cannot wait to see Jalen Daniels play football for the Washington Commanders. He looks really good. And it'd be interesting again if back-to-back seasons, the number 2 guy looks better than the guy who was picked number 1 at the same for the same position.
Don't say that.
Well, dude, look, think about it. Houston, nobody thought Houston would win. If they won 7 games, that would have been like, wow, what a great season.
Yeah.
Stroud goes on to score for 4,000. Was at one point probably number 5 or at least top 7 in MVP, consideration, and goes on to win a playoff game, on the road. Phenomenal season. And Bryce Young, bad situation. Now I don't think Caleb will have a situation anything like close to Bryce Young, but Jalen Daniels with a Washington team that they're flying so far under the radar because of the Bears and Caleb, because of some of these other teams, and it's Washington's been kind of, out of the loop. No one's really talking about him, but Jalen Daniels in the last week or so has been getting a little bit of buzz because of how he is exceeding expectations, somewhat of the coaching staff, but definitely of the general meet. I mean, some of the other guys are like, hey, don't forget, we said we thought he might be better than Caleb. Guys like Louis Riddick and a few other folks.
Booker McFarland said that.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, he's an LSU guy, so he's going to say that.
Well, yeah,
but man, to speak about like the whole Caleb, CJ Stroud and stuff, man, it's kind of irritating on TV how some of these people are now starting to hedge their bets a little bit. Like it's unfair to say we should expect Caleb to have a CJ Stroud type year. Like how is that unfair? CJ Stroud, y'all were clowning this dude on national television last year before the draft. He wasn't elevated to Hall of Fame status before he ever played a damn game. Like it like people talking about like, come on, he's not CJ Stroud. Oh, now he's not CJ Stroud because y'all saw with CJ Stroud in 1 year. Like, come on now.
But no, don't compare to CJ Stroud.
Right, like come on, man. Like y'all, like this dude has been the second coming to whoever you want to put at the top of the chain for 2 years now. Now we want to hedge our bet. Like, come on, man. No, man. Them expectations need to stay there. Like they need to, like, we should be expecting something of that nature. Who cares the division we're in? Take it. Because that's what CJ did. Because everybody thought the Jaguars was on the ride. Now they right back to forgettable because CJ came and took that division. So, like, let's go, man. Like, you got everything there to do it. Like,
you're not going to a bad team. You're actually going to a team that wasn't first. You're picking them 1 overall, but you're going to a team that was probably a top 10, somewhere between 8, 9, or
7-win team, dog.
Right.
7-win team.
It's been improved vastly. I'll say this though, and I agree with you 100%. The one thing that irritates me though, and I want to punch every person that says it. Like, I'm not even a violent person, really a nice dude, but I want to punch every person who says, yeah, maybe he'll throw for 4,000 yards. The Bears never had a 4,000. Like, dude, I don't care if you pass for 4,000. Can you win games? can you win games? Can you pass enough to win games? Can you pass when we need you to pass and complete passes when passes need to be completed in crunch time? Can you be a winner? Pass for 3,500 yards every single year and throw for 28 to 32 touchdowns every single year, but you're telling me you're winning 11 plus games every single year? Okay, I need you to win games. I don't give a flying F if you throw for 4,000. I mean, that's nice, but dude, that doesn't mean you. Ask the Dolphins how good 4,000 yards feels when you get to the playoffs. You can't win one game.
And
That don't mean shit to me.
Let's be real here. Has he truly been carving things up from the pocket?
What about Caleb?
Caleb. I mean,
No.
everything has been wild plays.
Like wild plays.
Like, so I think I truly believe he only completed 2 passes from the pocket over this run. I mean,
more than that. They're like 5.
I gotta look back.
Two that I can recall. I know the one the DJ in was that the Bills we played?
Here's
one
the
the
deal.
DJ.
The difference in 18 and 1 is
I think his pocket feel is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think his pocket feel is phenomenal.
He knows how to get out of there, and he's looking to throw. Whenever he's scrambling, he's looking to get rid of that football. When one took it, as soon as he put his head down, he was gone.
I'm not here to compare the two at all. I think his pocket awareness, his pocket feel is definitely better. But
we
shall
see.
Contain his ass in that pocket.
I want everyone went wild. Oh my God, those 2 possessions in his first game. Oh, did you see that? Let's chill.
Look screen pass.
Yeah. Let's chill out. All right, let's let this play through. All right, and we'll see what we have. Let's 8 weeks. 8 weeks.
And let's not forget, he hasn't had Keenan out there. That will help you complete a lot of passes.
Yeah.
While you're in the because he is pretty much no linebacker can stick him, and safeties he's usually bigger, and they can't. You probably have to double team the slot a lot because he's going to be open. He's going to, especially with the other guys on the outside, it's going to be very difficult to focus on Keenan. You're going to have to go one-on-one with him, and either have someone like Derwin James on just to and everybody doesn't have a type of defensive nickel safety back like that, or Honey Badger who doesn't have quite the size but has a savvy. I mean, teams are going to have someone on their squad like that to come close to bothering, let alone even think about neutralizing Keenan and DJ and Rome and Egypt on one side. And I'll say this, dude. I'm not that I'm saying anything that other people haven't eventually said, but the thing I saw in Rome, say September of last year, and my assessment is the same thing that I see now. That brother can track the ball over either shoulder with no problem. He will secure that. That guy is smooth and getting open. Like, you don't realize that you think you got him, and you look up, it's like, damn, he made another move. And they show, I think it was the second Hard Knocks when they were practicing. He put a double move on somebody. I was like, oh my God. Like he put one, like he and Caleb were talking, and Caleb said, we got your slant bend in this way. And so you saw that. I was like, oh, okay, that was cool. And then you saw Rome do another route after that, and he did a double move, and he lost a dude on the second move, and it almost looked like a third move. It was like, I was like, oh my, it was so nasty. I'm like, oh, dude, he's just getting started. And if he once he gets his awareness, keep his feet on the inside because they should have been a touchdown.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know what though? I blame the grounds crew for that one.
Yes,
that was weird. Yeah, that was. It looked like if I were running there, I would think that was in bounds.
Right. That pylon was the only thing that let me know. Like, no, that's a touchdown.
I guess they were.
You don't realize that the other the inside lines.
Was it a soccer game?
I guess they were trying to save money for off paint,
right,
for that in line. Nah, they gonna get that right. They definitely gonna get that right. They got to do
So yeah,
better with
I
that.
think we'll see Caleb complete a lot. I mean, we haven't really seen him as much with Swift either. Um, but yeah, man, I think he'll complete a lot more passes.
Good Lord.
I'll be shocked if he completes less than 63% this season. I expect anywhere from 65 to 68%. I mean, 68 is kind
Nah,
of high.
that's what I'm saying
Around
though.
65.
Like how can we not have high expectations? The 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 amount of talent that we have on this offense.
Got
His offensive line.
Good Lord.
He's got way more than
Oh
one
my
had.
God.
No,
I'm
I
not
got
gonna
it.
say his name. He just had way more
Like
than one.
like and I don't mean to go back to this, but Kimberly Martin said this on national TV. He said, "Come on, we talking." CJ Stroud had Tank Dell, and like, lady, I wanted to say something else, but like, Tank Dell, what the hell? We got DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Roma Dunze. Nobody even cared about a damn Tank Dell until CJ Stroud came there. Like, are we serious? Like,
I think he was a rookie out of Houston. So, I mean, maybe people in Houston were aware of him. He looked great at the Senior
she
Bowl.
she she said that like the Bears don't have an all world receiving core. Like what Swift coming out the backfield.
Hit Cole Komet is a solid tight
And
end.
Cole Komet. Like only thing that could possibly derail this is the offensive line, in my opinion.
Offensive line and an injury to Keenan Allen or DJ.
Think positive thoughts. Keep positive thoughts. Hey, let's get out of here. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the Easy Smoke and the GM podcast. I want to thank everyone for listening. We greatly appreciate it. You can catch our podcast at Apple Podcasts, Google, I think Google, I don't know. Wherever you find your favorite podcast. I don't even know what these apps are anymore, man. They all going out.
Spotify.
Spotify is one of them. Yeah. Who knows? iHeartRadio, I know, is one of them still. We'll see when we post this one. Let's see. Let's see. Hopefully they haven't forgotten about us. You can also catch us at hp53productions.com. There you'll find a link to our podcast and the Super Duper podcast hosted by Rob Griggs. Yo, Glenn, please take us out.
It's like we always say here at Easy Smoking and GM podcast. We ain't saying we right. Just don't think we're wrong. Just to feel things.
Bears.